pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have the minutes?
I do, minutes from March 11th and March 19th. Both emailed.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from March 11th and March 19th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, and I have, the allowance docket or payroll that was, $22,955.33. And that includes, the council quarterly pay.
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll. I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
And then I have, the accounts payable vouchers with $68,866.98.
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers. Make a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then I have the February and the March bank rec. Susie covered February, and it's in a folder, but she didn't realize what it was for. So if I could, you received it in the email, but it's been a month. So I could get a motion for February and March.
I make a motion for February and March bank rec.
Second. Favor? Aye.
Okay, I just for your information, we sent out 38 water shut-off letters for non-pay in case you're contacted. They have 2 weeks to pay for those for the water shut-off. So just to keep you with what's going on. And then I wanted to ask, I emailed the comp time policy that we had in place before, before we did the payout for comp time. And I talked to Richard about using that for Brendan, since he's full-time now. He would like to go back to using comp time if there's, instead of paying overtime. That's what we've done in the past. But you had voted to stop doing that. So we would need to vote again to reinstate it.
And if I remember correctly, we had got rid of it because there was so much comp time that had gotten accumulated and we were not ever going to be able to catch up to
Right.
really get rid of it.
I think he had, Richard, do you want to elaborate on?
Yeah. So in that policy, we kind of got a plan. I spoke with her. We're going to run a spreadsheet, same one together. I believe in that policy that max is at 130. We are not, I've talked with Brendan, don't really want to run it over 80. That's 2 weeks. That's a pay period. I think that's fair. Once it gets over that, I'm just kind of going to start getting forced to, hey, you need to go home, what have you. I'm going to add it to our packet every month where we're at. So like this month, Brendan had school this last pay period, plus a few other things. I think he's at 12.9, and that's where we're at, is what we've kind of logged. I'm at 0. And then we will make that part of this. So you guys can kind of manage it and see and say, hey, this is, you're running amok or not. And our goal is absolutely not to do that. We've talked about it. I think we're all on the same page. So we'll put some guardrails on it. You guys can kind of see it monthly, and then we'll both have the same. So we kind of stay on track and we know, hey, it's getting used. It's not where we're at.
So when you get overtime, you're paid time and a half. So does it go an hour for hour or are we talking hour and a half per?
Time and a half.
Yeah,
Or
correct.
he-
1.5.
So it's 1.5, so just an hour.
I'm one, just personally, I'm not gonna check mine in if I'm here an hour or half hour over. And then I'll keep mine straight up most of the time. It's not that big a deal for me. To move the next day. If I have something else, take the half hour or whatever. I'm not trying to run a 1.5. It's not a big deal to me. Now, if we, 4 hours out doing something crazy, then obviously we'll log that, but we're not looking to Something like that.
Okay, yep, thank you.
Salary?
Yeah, but he'd still qualify for comp time right now.
Okay, so, because that's what we did before. When we stopped it, so the salary person stopped that comp time.
Right.
So if we bring it back, the salary person would get that also,
Yes.
not just Brendan? Is that what or you're something different on that, Robin? But you've got a look on your face like you're
No,
not.
it's up to you. I mean, that's your decision.
we're gonna bring it for Brendan, I'm pretty sure, right?
What's that?
We're only doing it for Brendan.
I was putting it for both of us, yes, yes. And I asked Brendan which way he wanted, if he wanted overtime or comp time, and he preferred the comp time also. So,
Yeah, part of the salary. Yes.
Yeah.
I get on salary.
I mean, if it's used correctly, I think that's why we took it back.
When we did it before, he was hourly, but he wasn't using the comp time. We canceled comp time and made him salary.
So salary did not, I agree that, so,
But I mean, there was a lot of hours accumulated.
Change the salary ordinance or anything, just a simple motion to.
Yeah, just a motion to reinstate the comp time policy.
for about,
You could, however you want to do it. I mean, that's,
You're gonna put some kind of, I know you said you'll stay between some guardrails, but, and I know you said with max, try to not go over 80 hours.
that's our goal, yes, and the policy is 130. Is what the original policy was from Wade, and I think it was a well-written policy. We pulled it up from the 2017 handbook. That's the only thing I could find on the employee handbooks. Went over it. I didn't see, and I shared it with Robin. We didn't really see anything that we can make it better. Minus, unless you want to subtract the 130 down to 80. But I think for us and what me and Brennan talked about, I'm going to watch it. I don't even care to have that much. But if we got to there, it's going to be a forced thing on my part of supervision of, hey, dude, you're at 80, you're going to take Wednesday off. Like I can go mow, I can do something by myself. We have that liberty. Obviously, and then every month I'm going to add our comp, whatever we're at, to our packet. So you guys get to see it monthly. So again, you'll also have a chance to, hey,
watch it.
this guy's out, out of control, what have you. And what we use, what we have, I'll make sure it's part of our report.
So are you guys finding you're working quite a bit of overtime right now? I mean, coming up. Okay.
Only thing Brendan had was because of school.
Oh, school,
He had a long day, drive there, drive back to Lafayette. That was why he has what he has. Other than that, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have nothing this month.
So basically, you're just looking for a better way to rearrange the time, basically.
Yeah. I had 30 minutes over one day and we just changed it the next day when we had that major rain event last week where we lost pumps and had some issues.
I assume winter time is going to be potentially the most time you're
I think so. I think winter, but again, we can, once we're done, we can manage that pretty easily. It's not, there's plenty for us to do. One day or next, and I can send another guy home one day or the next.
Do we have, once they do that, for instance, say that get the comp time, they have so much time to use that, right?
mhm.
What was that in? Do you remember?
Well, I emailed it to everyone.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll pull it up.
But I do have a copy here somewhere. Oh, my gosh.
If you took it down to 100 installed.
Like 82 weeks, the last 2 weeks. So,
Okay. The maximum of 3 weeks or 120 hours can be earned and used per calendar year and should be used no later than the following month. So it has to be used within the following month.
So if you get 10 hours over from doing snow, you just gotta use it by the next month.
Right.
I don't see that being.
No.
And you said it was 100, I think. I make a motion that we
Is it,
keep what we have.
is this solely just for, does this include police department?
Having
So what, I guess at the end of the day, could we just have one policy that blankets the town instead of they get something, they don't get it, and vice versa?
they wouldn't use it if they had it.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
issue we would run into, just to be fair, the standby time is different than on-call time.
Right.
So that would eat the town. If we did standby, yeah, because they're not, if they respond to something, it's an on-call, and I appreciate the thought, everybody, but for us to be on standby where we're able to react, it's a different.
Yeah.
And that would cost the town a lot because you're required to pay standby time and,
Right.
so we kind of just feel like when we came in, we knew what we were getting into. We went over all this when we came in.
Yeah, and I think it'd be a different picture if we'd have, say, 8 police officers, right? I mean, if you had a
Yeah.
full staff
Yeah.
police department, which we do not have.
Then we're not on standby. It's no different when we were on SWAT. If we got put on standby,
Right.
you gotta be right. You gotta have your
Right.
gear with you. You gotta have your police car with you. You have to have, so it's a totally different animal. And I think we'd be opening a whole different can of worms than what it would be with them guys.
I make a motion that we reactivate, I guess, the comp time, what it's written for Public Works Department.
Favor?
Aye.
Carries.
The only other thing that I had. Oh, I'm gonna be on vacation April 27th through the 30th, but the office will be open. Susie will be there. I'm just like it always is. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll go ahead and go under new business here real quick. We've got a couple, it's like resolution. Resolution to transfer funds between categories within the budget accounts. It's something that we do annually, so, I'll just need a motion to be able to do it.
I'll make a motion to transfer funds.
Yeah, second that, thank you. All in favor? Motion carries. Then we have another ordinance here. So this is going about because we have adopted a new handbook, employee handbook. So we had a company go through ours that we already had and kind of written it up. So they went through, and they rewritten kind of what we had. But if I'm right,
No, I'm
they
sorry. It's not the handbook. It's the code of ordinances. It's
Oh, I
all,
thought
they
it was the
codify
employee
all
handbook.
of
I
our
apologize.
ordinances into easier to read. They broke them down and put all the newest ones front in the front. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. So anyway, so this ordinance is being able to put that in motion. And to modernize it a little bit. So I need a motion to number the ordinance 2026-5 that shall be placed on the first reading by title only.
I'll make a motion. I say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any motion to read ordinance in its entirety by title only?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Voted. So now I need a motion to accept the first reading.
Motion to accept first reading.
All in favor? Motion carries. That's all I had for new business. Anybody else have anything else? Chad?
I have one question, actually. Dave, do we ever get anything back on the results for that lot next to the Circle K, the old gas station on
We ever got anything back from,
the results on it?
I haven't seen. Refresh my memory.
I think we were waiting on EPA results.
Oh, back from,
The Pizza King?
no, nothing came to me.
The old gas station.
Oh, the Star Station.
I remember that discussion, but.
Probably Chad, probably had,
Chad.
yeah, I'll say Chad. had more
That's
information on
your
that.
his bill.
I was gonna say Chad has the. What? Anything else? Up here. All right, Chad, you ready?
Sure.
Thanks, sir.
So Kyle, for your benefit, I'm Chad Pigg. I work for a company named EnviroForensics. We're an environmental consulting firm, but I have a background in redevelopment and grant acquisition and those kinds of things. For the past couple of years, been helping the town secure some grant funds. We secured grant funds to do the demolition on the downtown, the 4 buildings right there. And so I'll just give a kind of a quick update on a couple of things. Let's just start with your site, the Star Sunoco site. That was a site that the town acquired. We were able to get it into the Indiana Brownfield program. Some tanks were removed, and there's still some ongoing testing going on. The standard protocol when they remove those tanks is that they sample quarterly. They sample the soil and groundwater quarterly for 8 quarters. I actually took a look at the IDEM virtual file cabinet, and the last 2 quarters, they have not had any changes whatsoever. And when that happens, they're able to actually pull that back a little bit and close the site a little bit quicker. And so what this town will ultimately end up with is it's called a no further action letter. It's just basically a clean bill of health from IDEM saying the site can be used for its intended purpose. And the intended purposes for that site, kind of under under the environmental regs, is that it could be anything other than basically single family residential or a daycare or anything like that, but retail, office, anything like that. And honestly, the other piece to that is there is nothing to keep the town from, looking for ways to reuse that right now. I mean, the only caveat to that is if a private owner took over that property, they would need to agree to allow for the testing to continue until it's completed. So that could happen if somebody did approach the town and say, hey, we've got a great reuse for that site. Let's talk about what needs to happen there. So the other one that we wanted to talk a little bit about were the 4 buildings they're the 4 parcels that, we've been talking about for demolition. The town, acquired the last one, I think it was in January, David?
Yes.
And which is great. And so at that point in time, I reached out to Jerry Bridges at the Madison County Council of Governments, and I said, hey, we're in the very last stages of the town taking title to these properties. We're going to take a look at what we need to do to get quotes and move forward. Obviously, there's been some different developments as far as what might happen there. And as far as, somebody possibly saving a couple of those buildings, doing some good things there. I mean, that is all very, very positive. I circled back and talked to Jerry Bridges and asked just a couple of questions as to what happens, to those funds. And the first question I asked him was, I said, if you had somebody take this over and, they just didn't have a use for these funds as they were intended, could the town use those dollars for another purpose? The short answer is no. Basically you'd have to start over in the process and it would be looked at kind of as a new project, and it wouldn't be like those funds were set aside for something completely unrelated to that project if you wanted to do something in another part of town. However, there is a lot of flexibility on how those funds can be used for that project, whether it is for partial demolition, for part of the renovation and rehab. Jerry said they like to see those funds spent on I'm trying to think of the concrete measures like structural repairs, roof, those types of things, not necessarily personal property that would be put in there to operate a business, but things that would be permanent in the structures. So there's a lot of flexibility on how those funds could be used there. So depending on how that unfolds over the coming weeks and months, as to when you guys kind of have a better idea as what's going to happen, Jerry's only request was update him as needed, and once there's really kind of a pretty solid plan, probably somebody from the town and whoever is going to be involved in that process sits down with him, walks through the plan. Basically, he says, "Yeah, that sounds good." So that's very positive. Last one, and this one's a little complicated. The brownfield project, south of the Pizza King. There was some thought earlier in the year that there were going to be additional funds, and the Indiana Brownfield program was going to do additional testing at that site. They didn't know if that was going to happen, and those funds are exhausted at this time. And basically, the state has spent over the last 3 or 4 years, they've spent a lot of money out there, and I know it doesn't look like they've done a lot, but they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to address that issue. And, at this point, they've kind of spent what they can spend. They don't have the federal dollars coming down like they have in the past. And so we can talk about some options with regards to how that might be addressed. I did talk with Tracy Michaels, who's been the project manager from the very beginning with the Indiana Brownfield program. And she said that there really wouldn't be a prohibition to, whether it's leased, sold, the city renovates that lot, that the item does not expect to do any more actual remediation where they're going to be digging up the lot. So we can talk about, options as to how Pizza King is allowed to utilize that lot, or if that's what the town decides they want to see happen there. And I understand Pizza King's frustration with, hey, we've got customers that want to park there. This lot's in rough shape. But now that, and I explained to Tracy, she said, well, just keep in touch with us. Once kind of the ownership piece is worked out, let us know, because again, there'll be a requirement that if somebody different owns that property moving forward, they'll have to sign basically a agreement with the Indiana Brownfield program to allow access to wells and that sort of thing. And if a new parking lot's constructed, whether it's somebody like me or somebody else who does this, they'll need to make sure that that's done in such a way not to damage the existing wells that are on that property. So guys, I mean, it's all good news. Like everything, there's certainly some complication. So, anybody have any questions? Any one of those 3 projects, I guess.
So originally, when we had talked about the Pizza King, you thought maybe there was going to be another company that was going to purchase it to be able to clean it up, and then they were going to sell it to Pizza King, possibly turn it over to them. But now we're kind of scrapping that because of the funds not being there. So now we would be able to move on to be able to sell it to Pizza King as long as they'd be willing to sign purchase agreement or the agreement to allow more testing if need be.
Yes.
Following? Okay.
Yes, I think that is the case. I'm just, again, it's a little bit messy, because there's a lot. I mean, for a really small piece of property, I mean, it was really heavily contaminated. I mean, you had metals contamination, the chlorinated solvent from when the dry cleaner was there. And so the short answer to your question, Steve, is yes. We'll need to be careful for the town and for Pizza King. They'll need to basically be what is called a comfort letter put together, a comfort letter application submitted on the part of Pizza King. Basically, I can do that. They can hire a consultant and do that. And what that essentially says is that we're acquiring this piece of property. We intend to use it for parking for the foreseeable future. If that changes, we understand that a whole lot more work would have to be done on the property. And so that will be a recorded covenant with the property that goes with the deed in perpetuity. So yeah, that's basically what needs to happen there.
Jack, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
So I know we're not at that stage yet, but when it comes time to draft some of these are obviously highly specialized
Sure.
types of contracts and other documents. Do you have the ability, or do you know people who have the ability to do that so that I can more or less take a back seat and just review them? Or is there work that I'll need to be boning up on so I can do it? It sounds like a big project.
The good news is, with respect to that specific, it's called an ERC, it's an environmental restrictive covenant.
Right.
The Indiana Brownfield program has templates that are approved by the state attorneys. Now, cities and towns and other jurisdictions are certainly welcome to adjust those and modify those as they need to, but there's a really good base to work from there, David. So, I mean, I think, you as a very competent attorney will read through and kind of follow the logic and say, okay, representing my client, the town of Summitville, this all makes sense.
Yeah, as long as there are good templates and maybe some discussion, I can work with that. I can
course,
put it all together. Reinventing the wheel. that's
No
another
reason to do
story.
that. So, yeah.
Good. Okay, great.
Okay. And, like I said, I know that it's kind of a little bit of a change in direction. So, we can talk, in the coming days and weeks as far as kind of what needs to happen, because I know they're anxious, they want to, they'd like to be able to use that and have it be in a little better condition. So, yep. Any other questions on any of those three issues? Very good. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Chad.
And just to kind of piggyback on Chad, the appraisal for the uptown property is gonna happen on the week of the 20th. Yeah. So. And then after that, it's just getting paperwork back, and then we kind of know what our next steps going from there. And then as far as circling back kind of the Pizza King, so they've contacted us, they really want their parking lot. So it sounds like the decision is gonna be either we spend more money to clean it up, or it's still to be a parking lot. Or we sell it as is. And then just kind of go from there. If Pizza King ever decides that they don't want to be a Pizza King anymore, then that's kind of the next bridge we have to go across. I don't know of anything. Always try and look around corners and what the next thing is as far as that particular piece of property goes. I don't know if there's really anything else to do with the other. I mean, because like I said, to clean it up to say it's going to be some other business, well, it's probably not. It's probably still going to be a parking lot. We own it, so as of right now, we would be responsible to have to take care of it. So it does need either repaved or a lot of work done to it. So something. I mean, if you guys want to make a motion tonight to figure out what you guys want to do, if you guys want to think about it, that's fine. But I know Pizza King's contacted us and they're chomping at the bit to do something. So.
I thought we already, so they're already leasing it from us, right? Or something like, for
Yeah, $1.
$1 or
like that.
something.
Yep.
until we found something out like tonight.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, this is what I'm waiting on. right,
Exactly.
to see
I
where
make
to
a
go from here.
motion that we sell it to Pizza King. Do we have to do appraisal or something, or we know what we're gonna do?
No, I'm sure we'd have to do an appraisal, and I mean, just like anything else, it's.
Simplified procedure, we found that out. Finding property owner makes it a little.
Yeah, we did, because we
Right.
caught that uptown.
Right.
Yep, so, yeah, so that makes it a little easier. Plus, it's under a certain amount of money, and,
Yeah, under 15,000.
yeah, I'm sure that's not gonna.
And state law for other things under 50,
Right.
but yeah, this one's under.
So I say, I'm making a motion, get an appraisal, get that process started so that we can.
Or even make a motion to sell it at market value. Because we may not need an appraisal, I mean,
Yeah.
Oh.
It's under what he's found,
yeah, I mean, if they
Oh,
look it
market
up,
value, okay.
yeah, so whatever
Okay.
market value would be,
and it's abutting property.
we could skip a $600 or $700 appraisal.
Okay, and
You
make
might
a
want- you
motion,
might
that we
want-
sell it at market value.
You might want to include in that, like, basically what Chad said, which is that it will be sold with appropriate restrictions, environmental restrictions on use kinds of features.
I make a motion that we sell Pizza King, sell the parking lot to Pizza King with the
Appropriate environmental restrictions.
appropriate environmental restrictions at market value.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
You have a questions for clarification. Would the intent be to sell, because there's more than one parcel, would the intent basically be to sell the, all those parcels that,
Or connect with the Pizza King parking lot?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
very good.
Under ordinance and resolutions, we have code of ordinances, transfer funds, which we already took care of. Apologize, I skipped ahead. Mark, you're up for police report.
Okay. Copies to everybody. The 2018 Ford, the car that we had fixed, the water pump that's doing well. The other one was actually a leak in the antifreeze overflow tank, the little plastic tank. That's what was leaking on that. Had me a little worried. The Durango's in it picture perfect finally to get the hood and the trim fixed from the hail damage. He came in pretty close to where we were at on the quote. The other person I'd quoted never got back with me, and I've been waiting probably 3, 4, 5 months on them to get back. So, and I even went there and contacted them twice trying to get them to get me the quote. Never got it. When we get the Durango out, we're gonna need to get tires on it. They're pretty bad. So as soon as it gets out of picture perfect, before I switch my stuff over, we'll probably take it up and get tires. We're gonna be swearing in a new part-time, name's John Mangrum. He's 36 years old. He graduated Tier 2 Academy already. He's currently with the hospital over in Tipton. Works over there as an armed policeman, or I don't know what they call it. There's not security. I guess it's a policeman. Part-time. He was a Madison County Special Deputy in the jail, which they do transports and stuff like that, for about 4 years prior to going over to the hospital working full-time there. So we'll be swearing him in this week. I'll introduce him to everybody once he gets in. And Fairmount has a pre-basic going on this weekend, and I'm very thankful because we were looking at maybe having to put another one on because we couldn't find one. It's a lot for 2 people to do that. We did one a couple of years ago. But anyways, Fairmount's got one going on this weekend. Kim, John Mansfield's better half, and Kim Logan's actually her name. And Kelvin Serber is going to be going to that this weekend. So hopefully that goes well and get them back out. Kelvin's been up quite a bit. Kim went through it a few years ago, and I told her that if she doesn't complete it, we would expect to be reimbursed, because we sent her through a couple years ago or a year and a half ago, and that's only $50, and I told her I would take care of it. But she ran into some health issues, back issues, and so she wasn't able to complete everything in the time period that's required. So that's the reason she's going back through. Kelvin Serber just swore in a couple weeks ago with us. He's been coming to all the training. We've kind of switched stuff up a little bit. Dave and I are still learning with the reserve stuff a little bit. Prior to swearing them in, we're requiring them to come to training for several months and just make sure they're going to stay involved, because it's easy to say you want to do that, but when you're volunteering for free and you start giving up weekends, and I don't think, the state law requires 24 hours a month when you think about it, man, that's a lot of time on weekends to be volunteering. So once they get in, we're learning, they're not able to put the time in. So instead of going through all these steps up front, like we were originally and swearing them in, and we're kind of waiting to see how they do with the training first and make sure they're going to work out. And Server's been coming to everything, prior to us swearing him in. So we swore him in a couple weeks ago, and he'll be the second one going over there. We tagged, 4 vehicles so far. I went out and spoke to a couple property owners. One there, I think it's 801 Washington Street. They did get it all cleaned up. I mean, there's still stuff out there, but the stuff he's got out there, I said, hey, get it, just get it organized so it's not scattered all over the place. And the stuff he's got out there is building materials. He doesn't have a barn to store it in. In my opinion, it's private property and one man's junks, you know the saying. So looking at what he's got there, I don't have any complaints as long as it keeps it organized. There's no trash bags and stuff like that out there. We've been pretty busy here last couple months. We've had a lot more call outs than what we've been having, and calls period. The last thing would be the academy that's coming up. We've got John enrolled for August academy. David's been looking into it as far as the pay goes. I'll let you go ahead and explain that.
We'll do that now.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so that, it turns out that under state law, but primarily under the Fair Labor Standards Act, I believe, Department of Labor regulations, it's got to be all or nothing is the easy way to put it. You're either volunteer or you're paid. And training has to be paid both under state and federal law. So the short answer is he's got to be paid at the rate set by the council for his training. Now, the council can make adjustments to that rate so long as it doesn't go below, federal, which is also state minimum wage, $7.25 an hour. So you could fool around with that a little and make it come out. I mean, if you did it right, make it come out so that he wasn't in fact getting paid. But I think that would, as I explained to Mark, and I don't know if you've seen that yet, Mark, but that's tricky. You have to be careful not to discriminate against, it has to be even across the board. It has to be non-discriminatory. I put this all in a medium length letter. And so my advice at the end of it was just pay him, pay him at whatever rate you pay him, because you don't want to have a situation in which you're violating Fair Labor Standards. And then you have to pay, state gets involved perhaps in
Which we
maybe the
already
federal government.
cut his pay. Am I correct in that already?
Did you already do that?
So we're paying part-time academy grads 27 an hour.
Okay.
And even at that, that's pretty hard to get people up here. But we've got people.
So the market kind of controls you to some extent, right?
Oh, yeah, because the salaries keep going up for the police
So you can
department.
do that. You can adjust the salary, but you have to, did I say in the letter? Let's see. Well, have a look at it when you get.
Well, what we ended up doing was we were at 27
Right.
and then he wanted more training. So he voluntarily came into the meeting and said he wanted to lower his pay to 10 an hour so he could get more time at the police department. So he's at 10 currently. So I looked into, the academy itself is only $1,070 for us to send them, because it's primarily a state funded program. It used to be free and then it went up to 500 and something, and now it's 1,070. So we'd have 1,070 in just paying the academy. That covers meals and all that. We would have at $7.25, I believe that's minimum wage, would be 4,640 on top of that. If we paid him the $10 an hour, obviously it's 640 hours, so it'd be $6,400 there. The academy is very good and about not requiring overtime, because they ran into a lot of issues with that several years ago, and departments were getting upset because they were paying overtime and so on. So And then the only other expense that I can think of that I've got down is ammo. We're gonna, for the firearms week, we're gonna have to pay for ammo. We're pretty good on ammo. I think we've only purchased it once in the last 3 years that we've been up here. So when we still have some of that left. So that's kind of where we're at, but
Do they still have a uniform? Standard uniform at the
the
bottom?
khakis,
Yeah.
I can't answer that question, Kyle. I know when my son went,
I think you wear your department stuff now. They got away from it. They could change it tomorrow. Though.
Yeah, of course.
I think the last guy was, it was, your department stuff.
back when I went through, it was khakis. but I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, something like saying. I think those.
But it's changed several times because, you know, just a couple, 30 years ago. So, but what I would request is that we try to make a decision pretty quick, you know, within the next month or so for sure. Because if they call, I have to lock that position in with them, and it's pretty hard to get them in. Also, if you recall, when we first did this and went to paid status, and I don't recall the exact date that we did it. At 1 year, once you're paid, you lose your arrest powers. So he would go back to no arrest powers. Now, a question I do have, maybe one of you guys can help me with this, is if he would do that, I know the reasoning behind that's because years ago, departments just weren't sending people to the academy. They were running as reserves. I used to get paid $50 a shift and would have never had to go to the academy. So then they were like, wait a minute, these departments need training. So they made them start sending the academy. Within a year, they lose their arrest powers. But if that were to happen, can he still do reserve work? So he could go back to unpaid status. Okay, thank you. I haven't dealt as much
Unless
with reserve.
Unless they've changed it in the last year or two. We had a guy do that. He came back.
Okay, that was my other question.
See if I understand. He does not complete the academy, within 1 year. He loses his arrest powers. Can he do reserve work with that? Yeah, because it's a different status. So, yeah.
Mhm. But the way they word that's lose arrest powers, it's probably not really that, I mean, that's what we say, but it's probably not exactly what they mean.
There's a caveat. If he goes and fails in the academy though, then no, he can't come back as a reserve. But if he never goes to the academy, let's say it passes his year, funding, whatever, he can go back as a reserve under that pre-basic. But if he goes to the academy, fails firearms, fails testing, he loses it.
So the 40-hour pre-basic wouldn't cover that.
No, if he goes there and fails something,
Okay,
then they
thanks.
pull him completely.
Okay. So,
Any issues with him?
Well,
Passing anything?
so the physical worries me a little bit.
They changed it yet?
They change it in August. August is the class that they're changing. Yeah.
Okay.
So I believe, looking at the new physical standards, I've been on the horn with Valero down there and Guthrie, and it sounds like it's a lot easier than what it was before. It's a little more work related now, but they've lowered the standards basically again. So other than that, no, I don't have any reason to believe he would have any trouble down there.
What did you say there was amount we would have to pay him when he's gone?
Well, so it'd be up to you guys. If we did the $10 an hour, it's 16 weeks at 640 hours, so it'd be $6,400 at $10 an hour. If you guys went down to 725, it'd be 4640. And then the academy was 1,070 plus ammo. So depending on what salary we went with.
As long as you're paying him the same as everybody else, and as long as you're paying him the same for all the work he's doing, but he's only gonna be at the academy during this period of time.
Well, he's part-time, so. You know, the only other people we have to compare him with would be Dave and I, and we're both salaried.
Okay.
So, and then we passed an ordinance that academy grads get the 27 an hour. Pre-academy, we set at 10.
That'll work.
So there's some stipulations in there that separate the pay on paper, saying why this person makes a little bit more versus someone else.
That's okay. You can do it that way.
Is there a caveat if he fails? And then they can go back one time, I think, to pass whatever,
Yeah, they can go back and retake the tests.
and if he fails completely and we're out,
Yeah. That's just.
is there a caveat to say you gotta pay back?
We can't, looking at past history on that. I know departments that have tried that and, you can't hold them accountable for that. But you can, they just passed the law recently, and you guys probably know about that. Him and I were just talking about it. That if the town were to steal him within 2 years, 4 years, there's a percentage that they have to pay back to the town for the training. So then that just passed July, I think. And obviously it's because these bigger departments are just swiping it, and, you can't blame the guys, it's their livelihood, but, so that was kind of nice that they passed that. It's gonna help some of the smaller departments and recoup some of the money that they've already trained for a Carmel or a Fishers or whatever.
And ultimately, that's the exposure of the town, right? I mean, that's the only exposure of the town is us putting out $6,400 plus, what, $6,500, whatever it is.
And if he left within those, now, the part-time versus full-time, I don't know if that would affect it.
It's the training.
The part-time would be the same.
You'd be okay.
Okay,
So I think training should, it'd probably be training, right?
yeah,
I mean, whether it is, whether it's not, however you are.
and like I said, all I can go off of is down there, and you guys have been around the smaller departments. But I've learned a lot being here. Like, stuff that I just didn't deal with on, you got so much help at the bigger departments.
No, more hats than look.
Yeah.
Mark, so about how many hours does he work now a week?
It varies. I think we were allowing him 2 days a week at the 27th. And then it came out to about the same, obviously, at 4 days a week. So it just kind of varies on what's going on. Like this week, he always comes in and covers me during the board meeting. And then my day off and Dave's day off during the week, he covers one of our shifts each. And then like we had the break-ins about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And so I called him in on extra third shifts. So it kind of just varies on what we got going.
I'm just trying to say, because we probably wouldn't normally pay him $6,400 in a 16-week period, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're paying $10 an hour, so if he puts in that amount of time in 16 weeks, that's what we would pay him.
I mean, yeah, if we would, but I'm saying, do we?
Oh, he's getting pretty close, isn't he? 30.
He, this past pay period, he had 80 hours, I think, between.
So yeah, he had 2 40-hour
okay.
weeks.
That's why I was trying, pretty
It's
close.
pretty similar.
Okay.
We're just, the downside for the town is being such a small department, we lose a guy during that time. But, it just is what it is. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
You better be careful.
not 80, 40,
Said 20 hours.
20 hours each week.
But like I said, it's just, you never know. It depends on what we have going on and that's all over the place probably. But our intention was when we lowered his pay, because 2 days, what was that? 200, it was, 8 times 27, help me out here. 8 times 27.
16.
So, yeah, 216 a day times 2 is $432. And then when we went to $10 an hour, he could actually do 40 hours for us for what we were paying him for 2. So that really helped the town out when we did that. So I don't mind him getting 40 in when we're paying him $10 an hour, as long as we can, Robin and I.
Which is what he needed. I mean, that was the whole point of doing
Oh,
it.
yeah,
So you can get the training.
it helps us with third shift tremendously.
What's it do?
Go ahead.
do we really need to change anything unless we're taking his pay down? Cause all we're gonna do is pay him at a regular rate, right? Just based on a 40-hour week for 16 weeks.
You have to pay them the same rate for both training
Right.
and other work.
That's what,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, that we wouldn't have to change anything now as a board, because he's getting paid the hourly rate that he presented.
Right.
The only thing we'd have to change would be if we reduce his pay.
That's right. That's right.
And obviously I would, in my opinion, I'd stay at the 10. That's very fair, but he wants to go to that's his career, so he wants to go to the academy.
No, I would venture to say $10 an hour, he's gonna be the lowest paid guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. Guaranteed.
Right.
That's by far.
I make a motion that we go ahead and pay him what we need to pay him for him to go to the academy, so you can get that process going.
The 10.
The $10 an hour, and then we'll owe him $6,400 or something.
I don't think we need
It'll
to.
just be a weekly,
It's just what it is.
it'll just be a weekly paycheck.
Yeah.
Weekly
Yeah,
paycheck,
you're
yeah.
paying to be there.
It's no different, but he would just essentially be working 40 hours a week, right?
Right.
You didn't need a motion, he just needed a yes or no though, right? You needed to know.
Well, I just want to make sure everybody's to be I just want to make sure everybody to be transparent what the prices were, and David, I wanted him to look into that to make sure we were doing that properly before we sent them, and then I want you all to know what's going on. But we're already paying them up to 40 a week, and so
What's that based on? Is that based on an agreement that was made with him at the time he was hired or at some point?
based on when he came in and no, there's no hourly presumption for him. He's part-time, he's used as needed.
As long as you pay him what was agreed to, and as long as you pay him the same as everybody else in his exact circumstances, and as long as you pay him the same amount for any work he does outside the academy, you can always raise it later, but you can't have a bifurcated
Right.
system. So long as you're doing those things, I don't see a problem with the Fair Labor Standards Act.
Good? Yes. Any questions?
I have a question, but not about this. Are you
Yeah,
done?
yeah.
Okay. I forwarded you an email I had gotten from a citizen regarding, dogs. Last year it was a problem, and we all know it was a problem, but we don't have a dog catcher. Madison County has one dog catcher unless that's changed, if I'm remembering that correctly, and that was, sorry, a year ago, so I'm trying to remember. And they're overwhelmed.
Well, they won't respond unless it's aggressive.
Right. So what can we do? I mean, who wants to, right? No one wants to do that. No one wants to
Yeah,
get bit.
here's what we ran into. Now, I do have some experiences. When I was younger, when I was a reserve, I was also the dog catcher. No, and it paid like 50 a week probably, but, so the reason most of the cities and towns have gotten rid of all of that is because you start running into kennel issues, housing the animals, feeding the animals. You're going to have some of your animals activists really watching everything you do. And, it really opens a whole big can of worms. So what I've been doing is if it's an aggressive animal, we'll come out for it. If it's just running loose, we try to locate we're not going to come in off duty for it just running loose, but we try to locate the owner and ticket them. And we have wrote several citations. It's a common thing in spring. You guys know it kicks up in the spring because everybody's outside and they start noticing.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna throw this out here because Steve and I share common dogs. And I can assure you, my neighbor shot at him. Now, how safe that is, that's by shooting in town that maybe shouldn't be shooting in town. Is that the road we wanna go? I guess is my question to everybody, because it's happening right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm getting.
Your guys'
We
dogs?
have people in our neighborhood shooting at dogs.
At yours? Or dogs running loose?
It's not my dog.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we all know whose dogs we're talking about.
Yeah.
The same dogs that's
Yeah.
been a problem for the last umpteen years.
Yeah, they keep coming back they've actually been moved and that's their home, so they keep running back into town.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's up to you guys. It's just,
At some point, we're gonna have to deal with a person getting shot or a dog getting shot, because that's that's where it's going.
Or both.
Or both.
mhm.
So I guess that's,
I don't
yeah.
know if there's a solution.
So I was gonna say, I guess that's kind of the question, is where do we go from here? I mean,
But it just isn't outside of full on getting animal control.
right.
So
Is there somewhere in Madison County, and forgive me for not knowing this, but is there, I mean, can we take them to a kennel in Madison County anytime we need to if we, so that's another problem, right? But
yeah, there's nowhere, like literally we had one last week that was hit that we came out for and we can take them down at times to the incinerator down there, the animals that are gone. But we would have had to take that up and put it in the garage to store it,
Right.
you know. Same thing with an actual, a live dog. We'd have to store it at the,
So there's no place, I mean, it's one thing to say, hey, while you're on duty, call someone else
And
in, you can go run it to Anderson real quick, whatever, and
Yeah.
put it up, but.
which we've done a few times. If it's aggressive, it's not a problem. But if it's not aggressive, and then the next step is if it is aggressive, then we're to what Brandon's talking about.
Yeah.
We're going out there and shooting at a dog,
Sure.
so, and if it's protecting the public, I've got no issues doing that. I've done it. But I don't know. I mean, all the towns are struggling with the same issue, and honestly, I don't have an answer for it.
And this has happened more than once by two different individuals that shot at the dogs, so.
Yeah, and we've issued her many tickets.
Right.
So that's all we can do with them. Now, again, if it's aggressive, it's a different nature. But, and the ones that have been aggressive, we've taken care of. We've taken 3 or 4, like, seized them. But, then the other issue with us is obviously, how do we catch it?
Or anybody else.
And I personally don't like, it's a case by case, depends on the situation and,
So I guess any complaints, just forward them on to you. You
yeah, I'll
wanna-
take care of them.
You're all right with that? I mean, I guess just so that everybody's handling it all consistent, and we all know. Because honestly, when I got the email, I'm like, well, I'll forward it to Mark, but, what happens? That's
Yeah.
why I want to talk to you about it. Just
So-
to see.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, they've all been getting forwarded to me. If I've missed any, I apologize, but, yeah, I don't have any other ideas on how to deal with it.
And I don't even, like I said, I've been trying to figure out, I've looked into, as Brandon said, we have issues in our neighborhood, and I've looked at, all right, what about Anderson, is there a kennel that you can take that's open 24/7, that even if we did, because it's always, you catch the dog or whatever it is, and then what, right? Like. kind of the-
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah,
What you
right.
catch it?
Right. So,
Um,
all right.
Thank you. We just approved a local person for a kennel here in town. And wasn't we under the impression that they were gonna help with this problem?
They had mentioned that they were going to, but I'm not sure where they stand at with that
Okay.
kennel, if it even went.
That's-
But I don't even know if that kennel came to fruition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're open yet,
Yeah,
or
so,
And then they would go out, she said she would go help us at one point, but I don't think anything.
I don't think, I think there were some issues and it just never happened.
I have a quick question. So, I don't know if there's an ordinance or not, but on Walnut Street, I've had a couple of people ask me, as we're coming into town around the curves, there's never been cars allowed to park there, and now there's people parking there. Is there something changed that you know of? Is there an ordinance saying they can't park there?
I'd have to look up the ordinances to see what the stipulations are there.
Cause I went by there just slow, just look. I don't see a no parking sign, but I can tell you, I used to live right there. And that was a no, you do not park.
What block is it?
West one.
I mean, they are right there, but.
Yeah, right there by where the horses used to
Oh,
be.
yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible. When you,
Right before you get to the old circle.
yeah, definitely no.
Right there.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
This is in town.
it's in town.
Yeah, it's
Right up
between, it's
the funeral home and, Pat's house, between funeral home and Pat's house.
The houses.
Not down.
No.
She's been with her.
Yeah, it's right across from where the horses were.
Yeah, no,
Did you know where Anna lives?
Yeah, right there.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
on the straight right there.
yeah, it's, I mean, I've never known people.
But if they're obstructing the roadway and we get a complaint, then we
Yeah.
can do something about it, even if there's not a no parking.
Yeah, I just think that's a danger, cause that, you got people going both ways, and that's not a very wide road anyway. And when they come
Now
in,
involved.
when you come into town off those curves and, oh, you know, boom,
Yeah.
I could just see it happening. I was wondering about that, if you knew something about that. Oh. I had someone approach me wanting to know if we could put a dead end signs up somewhere. Because somebody, which I've never known this. So you know back there, it's 7th Street. Front of the basketball court. Go all the way down. And then at the end of it, if you go left,
Which direction are you heading?
down by my house, you go
Okay.
straight.
Go ahead.
North, yeah. You keep going left, and then you got Buddy Stitt's garage, and then Ashley's fence over here, my daughter's fence. So the lady that lives in this house back here said that's Buddy Stitt's private drive. That land is Buddy's private drive, so she wants a dead end road on the end of 7th Street, so nobody can go down that private drive.
Yeah, I just have to look at the maps and see what, but that'd be up to you guys if you wanted to pass a. You know, you can put a sign.
Tennessee Street,
No, it's no 7th.
Be heading-
7th in Tennessee.
Mhm.
Doesn't Tennessee go all the way through?
No,
I don't know. I don't know.
So I guess the question is it really a road or is it really? a
That's what we need to
Because-
figure out, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we'd have to find out, Dieter.
But I actually pull through there, so.
I was gonna say,
That's why they
the
want.
reason I asked is because my grandkids were walking and they, that's was private property, they couldn't walk, and I was questioning.
Yeah, I just have to get on and look at the maps and see.
And yeah, because that's what I thought, you guys drove through there too.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
it
it's
is.
plowed too.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, I
a,
remember being with Justin and we
Yeah,
plowed it.
the
yeah,
air or the side stakes are out there even in the yard.
yeah.
Yes.
So that's just a private drive or something like that. I didn't know on that, if we did something like that. I think that's all I have. That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Good evening. I got you guys a packet, quite a few things. Brendan sent it out yesterday. I added two things to it, that we kind of missed and they were pretty minor. One was, we met with Lori, the engineer last week. We're into the phase that we need to map the west side of town, the sewer. We also need to pay for videoing and have it videoed so we know where the trouble spots are. We were looking, kind of debating, do we get a grant, do we not? We asked her what the cost was, so I added that to this packet, so it's in there, all that's up to date. She was talking about $30,000 to $50,000 to do both, which it needs to be done, and there's no maps of our sewers at all. Definitely have to do that for phase one, so that when we get, say we file for a large grant next year, replace and separate sewers, that's gonna be really important, part of the process in here. So for the last month, we've been cleaning, getting out, we got all the vehicles, plow trucks put up, cleaned up, washed out. We took the red truck to Ride Electric, for repairs. Got it back yesterday and I think we still have an issue, but we're gonna pull the battery, replace the battery. The guy at Wright Electric said the battery doesn't have a load, won't carry a load. So every time we charge it, jump it and start, but if it sits for more and you restart it, it wants to die. So we're gonna try to address that. Yeah, been cold patching. weather permitting, as much as we can. I think we did probably 1,500 pounds a day. We're about out of the pallet we just bought. We're down to about 7 bags left out of, I think, 56. So, we've been doing some repairs with millings that we have. We're going to continue to do that on the edges of the roads that are deteriorating to build those back up and try to save them. That's been working out. We tested it at New York and Northeast Maine, and it's actually pretty well. I mean, that's a low spot, holds water anyways, but we was able to bring it up. There's a pretty significant hole there. We put millings in there, tamped it down, and it's at least a little smoother. It's not destroying the vehicles it goes through. That's something you'll hear in the future. We're about to address that. Will have to be built up to move that water out of there. That's a really deep there. If we get any kind of rain, it holds for a while. So we'll be going through that. We got our salt, got the state bid for the salt. We'll know how much that is come June. That's coming up. Got the ADA mat, the corner repaired yesterday. That's still curing. We still got the cones up there. But that was set up before I started. But they come in and got that taken care of yesterday. So it's a good deal. As far as wastewater, the lift station down on Lake Street, we had that massive amount of rain. We ended up with several issues. We had some float issues along with there's a part of the circuit board that was bad. So pumps were only running at 30 hertz, wasn't keeping up at all. We sat down there troubleshooting it for most of the day. We got it to where the last sensor would float and would actually kick the pumps into 60 hertz, but then we're actually having issues running the pumps too much. So they come in next day, BBC did, and got that all taken care of. We got new floats, so we're still waiting on one of the sensors to get replaced, to come back, but it is working as should. Something that happened today that we didn't get in the list. Grip was here working on our CSO with it signaling. It's running. The views it's running backwards. It says negative. Whatever. We have a CSO event, so we backed that around, got that fixed, and then a couple other small things that we had that Brendan had set up with them. We got the collection pond. We got 55-gallon drums moved out there to open it for the spring. Getting that taken care of. We got training coming this month, 27th, 28th. The first training on 27th is the Pazer training. We got to have that to get our grants to do roads. So we have to you go to the Pazer training, we'll come out of that being able to grade our roads. That's part of now the grant submission so that we can get funding to pave the roads we desperately need to be paving. The 28th is the local transport asset management conference. So we'll be obviously networking, connecting, trying to get some things, learn some things there. I was told that you need to go to both. Those are the first time things. So we'll be there 27th, 28th. Mosey down. We got the cold patch in. That was kind of an emergency thing we needed to get started on. I do have from Asphalt Kingdom. So all of our new roads that we've put in, you go drive around, you'll see the cracks in them starting to form. It's typical with asphalt. We need to be sealing those throughout the summer. You'll see some of the roads on the west side. Somebody's done it, but I don't know if it's been done the last couple of years. I can't find. We don't have a machine to do it. So we definitely need to do it, or our roads are just going to continue to alligator and crumble. We can be able to get ahead of it. Definitely want to. This will probably save us. We should extend the road life by 8, I think, to 10 years, as long as you're maintaining this every summer and you're addressing the new cracks that are forming. So, and the total, this was the best company I could find. There's others, but everything I've seen and talking with the other guys, this is pretty much the main company, safest pot. There was other pots, but they don't sell. You'd have to buy separate product. This is all one company. You buy it all together. We can continue to order. A pretty reputable company. Then the total for both the applicator machine and a pallet of a filler was $32.44.
That would be our machine. That's our machine. That's our machine.
It stays here.
Yeah.
We'll service it. We might have to later, once we get it. I don't know if it comes with the propane tank. We'll have to go buy maybe a $30 propane tank. Because it heats. Essentially it's tar bricks in it, melts it, and then you applicate it down onto the pavement where the cracks are. So we'd like to get that. We're still looking to get a power washer. I know Brent addressed that last was our power washer. It was at the fire department. It does not work. Terrible shape. So I brought mine in. We've been using it, but we will need to get a power washer at some point. A vibratory plate compactor. Again, I'm researching that. There's so many extremes from $400 to $3,000. And I'm just trying to get smart on it before. I don't want to buy a $400 one and it doesn't do what we want. I don't want to spend $4,000. I could have bought the $500 or $400 one. So I'll come back to you guys probably next month with that, but a little bit more information. Brendan went to the mosquito thing. We're going to try to get a mosquito trap so what that is it traps. He can see, hey, we have this influx, we'll spray. If we're not catching them, then we're not going to spray and waste product. So it'll save us money in the long term of when we need to spray, when we don't need to spray. But he's been certified and all that, and I kind of leave that department to Brendan. He's all about it. Gridlock, I got a quote for Gridlock for Main Street. That's the only one I have been able to locate that does municipals. Everybody I've talked to uses Gridlock out of Indianapolis to paint your stripings. I'm getting two quotes. One quote, I talked to the guy. He acted like to repaint the white and the yellow on Main Street. So the yellow, no problem. The white is a different type, and you'd have to have that power washer, essentially power blast it off. Pretty expensive. So I just asked him, can he get a quote for all of it? We don't the white's not in terrible shape on Main Street. I went up and down it. We've been cleaning Main Street. I'll give you guys both probably next month. I asked for it last week. I haven't got it yet. I'll follow up this coming week. But at minimum, we definitely need to get the yellow done.
Right.
So
It
that
could be a situation where we do the yellow this year and maybe wait until next year to do the white.
what kind of the way he made it sound, that stuff is so it's been on there since I think 2011, and you see the shape it's in. It's really good stuff. At some point, you're going to have to repave the road. He acted like that's when you want to put this stuff in. Is you don't want to really, because you end up damaging the road. It's so abrasive when you're trying to power wash that stuff up that it creates more issues with the road. So typically, he said it's really good stuff. And as you can see, that's probably 14 years old, still white and still holding up pretty good, spider web a little bit. But he said that when you repave, that's where you want to go. You want to spend the money on that product. For lack of he threw a couple of different things at me. And then I just left some needs down here at the bottom. We do need to get a dump truck. Us hauling like these milling back and forth from the pond is just so time consuming. Us cleaning the streets, filling up a bucket, having to go drive 4 or 5 blocks to dump it to go back and continue cleaning the streets. It takes about 2-3 blocks, and we have a full bucket in that tractor, just a breeze. So that's just time. If we had a dump truck, we could dump there and continue work. And then at some point, the skid steer at the box broom and other utensils attachments is going to be super helpful. Again, it takes us, we did Walnut Street's completely done. East Walnut Street from Main all the way out to First. We did all the curbs, and that probably took us about a week and a half, not every day. But it's quite a bit between the both of us. And one day I did it by myself while Brendan was in school, but it's time consuming. Having a box broom on a skid steer, phenomenal. And then obviously it's got a bucket with it. There's attachments, snowplow attachments, things that we would use down the road that would be super helpful for the town. So I just want to put that on your guys' radar. It's definitely something. And it would act essentially as a street sweeper. That box broom would collect your debris. You dump it in the back of a dump truck, go dump the debris, that kind of thing.
You're talking maybe probably a day's worth of work on one road instead of a week.
I would be, yeah, absolutely. With a box broom, we could definitely do a whole, let's say, South Main Street in a day versus we've been on South Main Street 2 or 3 times for half a day to 2/3 of a day, and we've only done the west side. Up to the end, we're going to be working our way back on the east side here in the coming week. Man, it hurts. It's a lot. Oh, me and him both, man, we're like, all right, we're going to do a half a day. We're going to do something else, and then a day later we'll come back and continue on. It's scraping. We got scrapers. We're shoveling. We're resweeping, shoveling again. just to get it right and get it looking nice, but it makes it wears you out. So a box broom would be phenomenal to get that done. Two last couple things. I have excess equipment, that Ford Interceptor. Man, it's in bad shape. The back brakes are shot. I drove it on the blockers. I don't know if it's a CV joint or what's clunking in the back end of it. It serves no purpose to us and what we need to do. So I would like to declare that as excess material. I would like to put it on Gov Deals. It's an auction site similar to eBay, and just auction it off. I would entertain a reserve if you guys want one on it. It's got plastic police back seats. It's got a console in the middle, and I don't think we have the original console for it. We don't have the original back seats for it. So it's not going to be a car that somebody's going to go buy and put their family in. So the market's going to be very limited on who we sell this car to. I would recommend, if you want to put a reserve on it, $1,500, $1,000, $2,000, something of that nature. Due to the amount of work it needs. I was told it needs coil packs. I didn't see a check engine light when I drove it. However, the back brakes are gone. And then whatever's clunking into that drivetrain, I'm sure is expensive. So if we got anything out of it, I would take whatever.
Yeah.
And then I have an ag sprayer tank. It don't have no hoses. It has no motor. It's just a tank. I would just like to get permission to get rid of that. It is a pricey piece.
Is that relatively new?
No, it's old. It's old. We have a brand new one. It's in great shape. This one's underneath of that back, and I just need to get the room. It is doing nothing. It's never going to do nothing.
What's your recommendation on getting rid of that?
The ag.
Yeah.
I'll put 3 out front. Somebody wants it. It's a tank. I mean, it looks like it holds fluids. It just, if somebody put a electric motor on it and bought a wand for it, they could probably reuse it. We don't have no desire for it. What's that?
Put it inside.
We could put it inside. Yeah.
Package deal.
Whatever you guys want to do. Yeah. I think we would need a motion on the excess equipment though.
Make a motion. Thanks. Whatever means you see necessary, I guess. Donate.
Yeah, if somebody wants it, donate. We'll put it outside free. Somebody takes it, if not, we're probably gonna put it in the dumpster. And just, throw it away. Like, somebody wants it, they're more than welcome to it. I'll second that. All in favor?
All right.
Motion carried. And then every month, and if you guys ever want, you're more welcome to reach out to me if you want to know where we're at. Something, these last few papers I'm not gonna go through. It's everything I've kind of went through. This is where we're at on every major project we're doing. It's a spreadsheet we have, whether we've completed, if we've started it, not started it, what we see on the horizon. You guys are more welcome to them anytime. We update it probably once or twice a week as we go through the things. There's one for the street, one for the water. And I'll also have this with your packet every month so you can kind of see where we're at on certain projects. We're kind of all over the place, obviously the weather and what goes down. So 1 week we might be in the street, 1 week we're in a building and something. So just want to keep you guys updated where we're at. And that'll change and add as we go. And then as the 100% ones sit there for a while, I'll probably start removing those after a couple months. Stuff that we completed last year, but I'll leave it on there for a quarter or so, and then we'll start changing those out. Just for your, and then the last thing, this is something that I'd like to get voted on. This is the town of Summitville's yard waste collection guidelines. We would like to start picking up Mondays and Fridays in the mornings. If people rake their leaves, put them in a paper bag, you got certain limbs within reason. This is all the guidelines in it. We would not mind picking those up. Obviously, it makes the town look good. We'll keep yards clean, maybe give some people incentive. Hey, I'll clean my yard. I don't know what to do with it. We'll come pick it up. We'll burn it. We'll dispose of it. But again, it gives guidelines and within reason and what days we're going to do it, when we're going to do it. I've talked with Robin, and we're going to, if you guys approve this, we'd like to put it in the wastewater bill and then get that out and then probably implement it. I don't know exactly when you guys get the bills, but once those bills go out, probably that following week is probably what I'd like to do. We'd start that Monday and then just every Monday, Friday, weather permitting, our time permitting. That's how we do it. And again, those are your guys' guidelines. If you see something you'd like to add, remove, change, reach out to me. We can make it happen, but I thought it helps the town and make the town look good as we go through the weeks. That's absolutely all I have.
Real quick, could you get on the things that you were needing? You said dump truck, box
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
What else am I missing or something?
But
Play compactor.
Oh, I got a couple of questions about that. So we had a plate compactor that was allocated out of ARPA funds. We sent it back with the intent to get a roller for the back of the tractor and allocated funds for that at one point in time. And we evidently never got this roller for the back of the tractor. So did that money get reallocated somewhere else, I guess, that was,
I
'Cause we
spent
had
all
this-
the money,
yeah.
so we wouldn't have to send it back.
right. Good, and
And we'll get you a plan. I don't want to dwell on anything in the past. We're going to meet here in the next week and sit down and try to really budget it out. I just haven't had time. We've been getting after it pretty hard. I need to get down and break down, give you options to you guys. This is brand new cost. B, do you go to something like Gov Deals and do we buy maybe a dump truck at $15,000-$20,000 used? We need to get some options, A's and B's.
That's what I was gonna ask for, just some numbers so that we can.
Yeah, no, we'll get that. That's on our list. Again, we're just trying to get caught up on several things that needed to be done, especially essentially cold patching. We had to get ahead of that. There's some roads that were pretty dangerous, so.
I would think that we would probably want to move as soon as possible in getting this sealing machine.
Tonight I would love tonight to have that done tonight, if we could, yes.
Probably the money there for that.
I checked.
I would make a motion that we purchase the asphalt sealing machine. Even not to exceed $3,500.
That's the actual quote number.
Well, go ahead and get a propane tank for it. That's just,
Okay.
that way you don't have to worry about getting one.
I believe it comes with one, but I'm not 100%. They might not.
If you haven't heard Harry talk about the cracks in the roads.
Yeah.
They need fixed, and this is the fix.
It's a brand new road though.
Yeah, and this is for the brand new roads. The roads that are all allocated out.
We're accountable for some of that though. It's brand new.
I had a conversation, we talked about that earlier, and I talked with Brendan. So when somebody paves one of these roads and signs off, if we had an engineer that we had signed off with, I think we could have went back. They paved them last year. If we haven't reached out to them within a year, they're probably going, I don't see us getting any. We will repair them. I think going forward, I think we need to, when we do pave, need to have an engineer sign off.
Well, somebody's gonna come up here, Brendan, talk to somebody, and then they didn't show.
He's called them twice and we never got a response. Without suing them and taking them to court, again,
Next time we bid roads out, we need to look at that.
yeah, and we will,
They're always the lowest bidder
we will,
for a reason.
yeah. So, yep, we'll make sure that going forward, when we do finish roads, I mean, certain things with the dump trucks, they get to the edge, you start crumbling it. Not dump trucks, but trash trucks, man, they do damage. It's something that we're gonna have to live with. We got a lot of semis that come through this town, I've noticed. You got STS, we got all the farm guys hauling out to the, all their grain. It is what it is. It's what we're a rural community, do that. It's just us staying ahead of it, make sure we can seal when they do crack. We can make sure that we maintain what we got for sure.
I agree.
Well, you guys are doing a great job.
Well, I appreciate
you guys out and about.
Brendan,
cleaning.
he's a dude. You guys will work around. I'm grateful to have him. If we didn't have him, it would be rough. So he's a good guy. He's a good asset to have for the town for sure. That's all I got.
So he's got a
What
bus.
about the alley motion? Scrape them or to fill in the potholes in the alleys?
Okay, we can look into that. I haven't gotten there now.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think Brendan had told me we had maintained alleys in the past, so.
Yeah.
You guys want to take the time to look through this, or do you guys just want to go ahead and?
Oh, I looked at it today. I'm good to go with it.
Everybody's good with calendars.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and make a motion to
Yeah.
put that on.
Good gravel. But that'll probably come on my yard waste, could say sometime in June.
Okay.
I'll put it on
second
to
that.
do,
Okay.
something to do. And if you have a huge one, let me know. We'll go take care of it if it's something that's dangerous.
We'll put it in, the bills that go out this month.
Okay, perfect.
Make sure.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Council report. Anybody have anything for the council report?
I do this. Yes, that's
Okay.
Is that private? Okay.
If you're talking about that, right?
Was there
Yeah.
anything in any of the letters that I sent? you?
Okay.
It was about 2 years ago.
So I have a couple of things. Oh. I was going to see if, I wanted to see if there's anything special I need to do. I'm going to got with a few people here and some people got with me. So in October the 6th through the 10th, we are scheduling a revival for here in town, down at the Paul Diamond where we normally have our events. So Wesleyan Church, Methodist Church, Christian Church, Union Chapel, and Baptist Church are all gonna be involved in this. There'll be speakers every night, along with there'll be worship team. Churches and the pastors are gonna be involved. And the revival will start at 7 o'clock each night. If it does rain or it's too cold, they'll have a backup plan and that will go out to the Wesleyan Church. Is there anything special what I need to worry about for that?
Are you worried at all about First Amendment issues? I don't think you got a problem there.
No,
No. I mean, is it open to all denominations?
yes, everyone,
Yeah, I mean, you probably don't have a Jewish synagogue or a Muslim,
nothing at all.
So you don't have it, as long as it would be open.
It's open to anyone,
Church of Satan hasn't been in touch with you.
not yet. I haven't that case.
Okay.
Yeah, no, so
No,
I just was
no,
thinking,
then
there
you
is
have-
nothing I
then-
need
then,
to,
No, it's not an undue entanglement. You just have to make it open to all.
it's open to everyone.
Our insurance and just make sure that we don't need to do anything.
Yeah, it's all on that, so that's why I got
That's
the date.
restrooms.
We got the one, and I didn't know if we were gonna work on the other. We hadn't mentioned that, we do that, the one that we've always used, so at least there's one there.
Does that, that's, I mean, you have to look into just make sure it's on the guidelines, so you gotta have so
Right,
many restrooms for so many people.
Yeah, true, I don't know on that, yeah. Yeah. I put on here, great job on the coal patching for the guys, they're doing a wonderful job. That was it. Oh, another thing was, if at all possible, I was wanting to see what everybody thought about this. I wanted to possibly maybe look at getting some estimates on maybe looking at just an open, estimates on possibly seeing what the cost of putting a walking track around the Paul Diamond would be. They just putting it out on the table. Where we're the open field, walking, because I tell you what, when I was in Florida over the week, there was a dog park and a huge walking track, and I was just eyeing that thing.
And we had talked about,
Yes,
talked about doing this before.
yes, and I just said there, so I went over there. One thing I didn't do was I wanted to measure the side of the sidewalk, because it's a little wider than a normal sidewalk. And I thought, that would be perfect, because it was about the size of what we had, maybe just a little bit bigger. But I thought if that's something, that's a start to something, and maybe get some estimates or something and see what that could be. I don't know what everybody, I just wanted to put it on the table and see what.
No, I would you guys just put some numbers to it, because like I said,
Yeah,
something we
that's-
can talk about, I mean, something
They use.
Hey, Dollar,
Yes, sir.
would you be able to get a hold of, Scotty over in Fairmount and see who did their part?
I'm pretty sure it was EMV paving that just repaved it this last. I don't know who originally did it from way back.
Their walkways?
Yeah, but they just milled down a whole bunch of it and redone a bunch, and it was EMV that came in and did it. I do know that for sure.
Okay.
Just because I haven't seen him in the park.
Yeah, I wonder if we had to have it. The dirt first, you know, like,
Yeah, perfect.
right, I just had that on my list because I thought I seen that.
Yeah.
The Lions Club, old Lions Club?
No, no.
Ballpark.
No, the ballpark.
Ballpark.
Yeah.
Start there and make it all the way around to the Lions Club eventually. That'd be
Oh my
awesome.
goodness, how about that? But I was just thinking around the day.
Yeah.
And then we have a start and then we get. Another thing I wanted to. Oh, just an FYI to everyone, the town rummage this year will be June the 5th and 6th. And I know it's May, I mean, it's not May, it's March, it's April, never mind. That's all I got.
Dave, you're out.
Well, I covered a lot of my stuff.
Unless-
talked-
do you have any-
We talked about the issue with Mark and John Mansfield, so I won't cover that again. Things are a little slow in Elwood City Court these days. We've got 2 ordinance violation cases that are currently pending. Both of them are abandoned vehicle cases. One is in collections. We got a default judgment in that some time ago. And the other is a new case that's set for initial hearing, but they're both set for their next hearing in May. So there won't be any news about them for a while. Know whether any traditional cases will be filed, but if so, handle those. Robin and I have been in touch about a number of issues regarding we'll just call them the D. Amos properties at this point, even though that is just pending. Regarding those 4 properties and how they can be sold, and she may have a question or two for me about that or something else, but otherwise I think we've got those pretty under control. There was a question about the authority of the town to follow its resolution that set procedures for small payments to be made prior to council approval for amounts under $500. There's a procedure that I wasn't aware of until Robin sent it to me. It was adopted by resolution something like that. That sets out amounts that can be approved by the clerk treasurer, by a department head, by a liaison. The statutes have changed a lot since then, and it doesn't fit neatly into any of them, but I think generally it's within the authority of state law for the council to do that. So unless you want to change it in some way or maybe tighten it up a bit, technically it should be an ordinance. The State Board of Accounts didn't have any problems with it.
They didn't.
They didn't. So they're okay with it. I think it's fine. Yeah, go ahead. The question.
No, the idea, there's an idea out there that you can approve $5,000 a liaison, or $1,000, but it's actually 500 in the
That's the
in
ordinance.
ordinance
Yeah,
says.
right. State
And
law
I've
is
been
very
looking
generous.
because I thought it was more.
Yeah.
And I cannot find anything that documents that liaisons can approve over $500.
There's no special authority for liaisons under state law. There's general law that says, well, the town can adopt an ordinance that can say the dispersing agent has the authority to make these purchases, but it doesn't mention liaisons. But the resolution does. So, and if the Board of Accounts didn't have a problem with it, I think it's probably okay. I mean, I read their handbook, I read the statutes. It's not exactly the same, but it's got to be within your authority, I think. That's my. If you want to keep it that way, you can keep it that
Yeah, and that's what I didn't know, if we would want to keep it that way or if we wanted to raise it.
Yeah, you could raise it, and if in that case, I would suggest you have me write an ordinance and clean it up a little bit and cite the right statutes and that kind of.
I think Richard and I spoke about this briefly. I think we were gonna try to raise it just a hair.
Okay.
He could elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, I will real quick.
Okay.
It's just, whatever you guys decide as far as authority for a liaison. And I think Mark will have the same probably issues too, as everything's going up in the last years. I don't know if his will be as much as emergent as ours, but if we have an emergency where we need to address something, I need to call him and get the authority. Everything just went up. So instead of convening everybody, I think, a $1,500 limit, it would probably be in that realm, 1,000, 15, whatever you guys feel comfortable with. Just, we've went up in the last 4 or 5 years just with inflation, that if we have to replace a pump and emergent, I think pumps won't cost more than that, but if we had to have emergent work done that was in that realm, I could call him and we can get that done. Obviously under emergency, I think we have the authority to do certain things, but I guess something that we would need, a plow truck go down, we're gonna have a snowstorm, I can get a call and, hey, can we get this done real quick? What have you, just everything's went up. So that was kind of our conversation. Not that I hope we have to deal with that a whole lot, but just kind of like the cold patch we did here this last week. That was $1,500. And I mean, again, you're talking property damage on some of these roads if somebody hit these holes right. It's something we had to have done. So after calling him and talking to a few of the council members, getting that done, and I do appreciate that. That's kind of where we're at. It's things like that come up that it's going to affect property or life or safety. We need to be able to address that.
You can structure this in lots of different ways. You can parcel out the authority. There's like the current resolution does. You can say any of these people can do it. Be another way to do it. You can change the amounts for different circumstances, like emergency situations are probably the most common. And you can define what an emergency is. You have smaller amounts. The other things that are covered specifically by the statutes are payment of taxes, payment of fees, that kind of thing. But I think you've got a fairly broad authority under these statutes. So if you want, I can prepare just to start with. I can prepare an ordinance, form of ordinance. You can look at it and say, no, not something different, or mark it up however you want. And then I can back into a final version. It's complicated enough that it might be difficult. Just do it here on the fly.
Right.
Yeah.
So what, I'm not clear. What is it now?
500.
Oh, you can,
Yeah,
so what is our,
I was gonna say, don't you have a budget you could work within?
that's like, I mean.
Because that's how I thought
Where
it
does
did.
it stop?
That's, yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I was at with
The
it.
tank of gas now is $100.
right, yeah.
I would word it, and this is my opinion,
Yeah.
is the 500 and under, it's a department head has the authority. And then above $500, so 501 to, you guys name it, 1,500, 1,000, it needs to be liaison approval. Anything above, I'm just gonna use 1,500, 1,501 needs to be a board approval taken to a board vote. That's how I would write that ordinance, and probably, I think it's probably about that black and white, simple, I think, minus a few caveats that he might have.
At the end of the day, this is the checks and balance system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep
there's,
department heads from spending money. And shouldn't be spending money on.
there's some minimum requirements about how the expenses have to be itemized and documented and all that, but do you want me to do that? Want me to?
Yeah, please.
You do that, okay, I'll do that. All right,
Thank you, Dan.
no problem.
All right. Now for the citizens.
Yeah, I got a list.
You haven't memorized it?
Here on it. Perry Nunn, 201 South Second. I'll start with the attorney. Talking about the buildings. You call them the DeAmus building?
Well, only for convenience sake.
Okay,
Yeah, we know that they're not owned by her. She's made.
I understand
Yeah.
that, but Are those to be bid out?
Well, let's see. It looks like they fall within a simplified procedure statute.
Okay.
There still has to, I think we figured there still have to be bids.
Yes.
But it can be done a little easier than a full, if it's under 15,000. And so yes, there will be bids. You can't just sell it outright to an individual who's expressed his interest.
Okay.
However, as I've also explained, that the bidding, when the bids are opened, you're not bound to take the highest bid,
Oh,
to the highest qualified bid.
okay.
So if you say, I don't trust this person to be able to do with something with the property that is
Yeah.
in the town's interest, you can say, I'll take this slightly lower bid.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
We don't want to get into a Florida, Connecticut thing again.
Oh, no.
It's gonna be a local.
Right, yeah, I'm
Right,
sure
yes,
you
sir.
Yeah,
don't,
because
yeah.
when you start bidding them out. We had a guy buy a car last month or a week before from Illinois.
Yeah.
So, did he ever come get it?
He did.
Oh.
Well, if they're at least in this case, they'd be paying, the town owns the properties and whatever they paid, they'd be paying the town.
Yeah.
So, and in those cases, they bought them at tax sale.
Yeah.
And paid, a few pennies and then left the town holding the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my other question was, you said the Elwood Quarters slope. Is that because of us?
Say that again?
Elwood Court?
Elwood Courts. So that's part of my job now is to show up in Elwood City Court,
I know.
one day a month, when there's something to do, and to handle ordinance enforcement cases.
Yeah.
Most of those cases have been abandoned vehicle cases. Yeah, but it could be anything, it could be any ordinance violation.
Okay. So you're saying they're running a little slow though? I mean,
Well, there aren't-
I don't understand.
Oh,
Is it because we're asking for extensions?
No.
The property people are asking for extensions?
When I said slow, there isn't much going on right now. We've resolved a bunch of,
Okay.
if anything, we're moving them along
You
pretty.
said there was two that,
There are two left.
what's the addresses of those two?
Oh, I didn't bring my Elwood file, I'm sorry,
Okay.
but I can get you that information if you're really interested.
Okay, I just wonder if one of them was on Third. Okay.
John Mansfield was here, he would know that, but I can check on it.
John tagged it again.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the first step in the
Okay.
procedure. And one of those cases, the one that was filed a while back, it's already gone to judgment.
Okay.
It's the next hearing is just to make sure it gets collected.
Okay.
The other one is just beginning.
All right.
So that one in question, Terry,
Yeah,
we tagged it.
and it disappeared.
Yeah,
The tag did.
and then we tagged it again, but the tag disappearing doesn't change anything.
Okay.
And then they just tear it off. That doesn't mean anything. And that tag is basically just a warning that you've got so many days by ordinance or state law, whichever one we enforce, to get it moved. They can tear it off if they want, and it doesn't mean that their time changes or nothing. Doesn't
But
affect
it's been months.
Yes, but because it's on private property.
Yeah.
We're going through the whole thing, because if we go there and someone would happen to resist going onto that private property and we had to make an arrest or something like that, we
Yeah.
got a little bit more,
Okay.
you gotta be a little bit more careful with those.
Yeah.
All
The way the ordinance is written and in compliance with state law, he's right. Mark's right. You have to be more careful when you're taking something off a private property.
Right.
If it's on the street or it's abandoned in a lot somewhere, they will have more leeway.
Okay. And then the other question was the streets are the cracks and all that. I think Brooks ought to man up for some of this. Especially the one you just did. You see them. There's one there on, you walk past it all the time, or on Third and Delaware. From one side to the other, it's that wide and it's sunk. I mean, that's just poor workmanship.
Sure.
So I don't know if you can still prove them or not. And South Second Street properties. The one that, the modular that we had so much problems with, the guy bought it, tore it down, gung ho. He stopped. Now we got a big trash pile down there again. And he actually sent letters to me, Kyle, some of the neighbors to buy it, which it hasn't happened. But I got a picture here I want to show you, if you don't mind. And mind you, this is folded in half. That's my front yard. My front yard. That's folded in half.
Is that corrugated?
Corrugated metal.
No.
5 a.m. that showed up at my house. Came from that property. In a windstorm. And now it's not just that it's a eyesore, it's a hazard. And that hit somebody in my yard or the neighbor's yard. It landed between two vehicles. And I'd be real upset if that would hit my vehicle. But we need to do something about it, Nate. This guy's gonna be hard to get a hold of.
We finally, an update. We've been reaching out to him also because of the same problem. We had a piece that she built hit our house, same shed that blew over.
Yeah,
We're in talks with him.
okay.
So I can give you some more information after, but yeah.
And he also has an outside John laying on his side down there. I mean, it's just bad. It's a good look for our neighborhood. We try to keep our neighborhood up. My father-in-law was out there the other day. He's 90 years old, mowing his yard. We can't get some of these people to roll out of bed, you know? And anyway, I was hoping somebody would look into that again, that house and the property next to it on the corner of Third and Lake. It sits there, same old crap. Where the tree was. He did move a truck the other day. But anyway, it just looks bad. We hate it for the neighborhood, all of our neighbors. I'm not just speaking for myself, I'm speaking for neighbors in the area that aren't here. Okay, I'm done with that. And you're talking about doing the sealing the cracks.
Yes, sir.
You put sand on that?
No, this is all pressured in. We clean them out, you gotta blow them out.
And then you seal them?
Yep,
It's gonna be loose tar?
originally, it'll dry. Like
Well, I
you-
know it'll dry, but,
Yeah, we'll close it off and then as we do it, we'll have it blocked off.
okay,
And it's just dries the thing again. It's
Okay.
called,
dries pretty fast.
yes.
Okay, I thought they would put sand on top of it.
No,
They do on state highways.
It's the Deere Super Stretch and we'll have it sealed off,
Okay,
or blocked off as we do the blocks.
all right. And Dorothy wanted me to tell you, that's Dorothy.
So.
She's 95 and mows her own yard.
Yeah.
She loves your job.
Oh.
Young Brenda's done a great job.
His street looks better than it's looked in years.
We're getting
I am
there.
proud of it. You cleaned up all those leaves up there. And I'm really proud of it.
Thank you.
When I moved to this town, it was a clean town and I want it back that way.
But we're gonna keep working at it.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome, Dorothy. And my last thing is walking track. We already got one. You didn't know that?
Where we going?
No, I club. Been there for years. Nobody uses it. It should be a dead horse.
Where you at?
Exactly, nobody uses it. It's all grown up.
It's paved.
No, it's gravel. It was done years ago.
Really?
It's still there. I mean, if you go down and look for it, you'll probably find it. But it went all the way around that. Yeah. So anyway, we do have a walking track, but it never got used. It was done during the J.C. Hendricks administration. So it's been a while. Yeah, but I'm all for a walking track, don't get me wrong. But there is one down there, just never got used. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We took care of it, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, all this stuff on my head.
Yeah.
I did have one more thing, if I may. Chad, like, when you said some of them dollars can be used, was the Star Building involved in that too? Or did- That never was added to that, was it? The demolition thing,
No,
He was a nice guy.
can't be used there.
I don't think so. I think it's
Okay.
gonna be those four, so.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Yeah, I'm good with it. That's what you guys want to do, huh?
I don't think I know the start with the order.
Great.
I'll make a motion to, dispose of the Ford Interceptor from the assets of Public Works Department. Possibly gov deals, I think is what Richard was saying.
Okay.
Not sure he's they call it.
I second that.
I understand.
So whatever he gets. Yeah, whatever. Just asking.
Get what we can.
If it's not gonna make a bad noise, I don't think you're gonna
Give it a wash.
give it a wash.
Clean the inside out. We'll have it prepped as best we can.
Especially on a rainy day. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. With that, any motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye,
Who seconded? Who seconded that? Richard?
all three of them.